Hello, hello, and welcome to a new episode of Ramblings from Meddling Kids, the podcast where we like to review movies and anything else that comes along. I'm one of the Meddling Kids, Edward Hunt, joined by my co-host
Mike Cunningham.
and our other very dear friend, Daniel.
Oh
Can
yes, Daniel Kunju.
Yeah. Excellent. So Daniel is another friend of ours that we like to watch movies with. We've seen multiple, midnight movie premieres on Thursday together, and have really enjoyed discussing them and kind of delving it a little deeper. So we've been trying to get him on, but he's just a very busy, popular, good-looking guy. So he has a very busy schedule. But I'm glad he's here with us now.
Yes.
Saying nothing. I'm gonna nod.
No, I agree with everything you said. That was spot on.
For those of you joining us for the first time, or if you want a quick review of our rules, we will give you a spoiler-free review, a scale of 0 to 5 first, where we won't spoil anything. Granted, this movie is from 2001. We're reviewing The Fast and the Furious. But again, a 0 to 5 review, spoiler-free review. Then we'll give you some background on the movie. We've done a little research for it. And then we'll give you a play-by-play of the movie, kind of like you were along there with us. But if by some chance you haven't seen The Fast and the Furious yet, fun fact, I actually think this was the first time I watched it, but hey. Then don't worry, we won't spoil anything for the first 5 minutes. So, Mike, Daniel, you ready to get started?
Yep.
Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
this.
Spoiler for review. Mike, start us off.
3.
3.
Wonderful.
Okay.
It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't transport me back to 2001 because I was 11, so not a big car guy. Just putting that out there, but no, it was fun.
Yeah.
It was like back when this crew was doing human shit. This was fun. And now they're in space. I'm pretty sure, like I said, I think they're fighting the Transformers. But when they were doing regular heist shit, it was fun. I think that's where this franchise is at its best, when they're just doing like heist things. Like it makes sense. And obviously this kickstarted it. You could definitely see why they wanted to continue the franchise. It started out with a strong foundation, and it was able to build up, to where they are now. I think obviously, what's his name? Paul Walker and Vin Diesel played well off of one another. I think it was similar to Point Break, pretty much, right? So you definitely saw that chemistry between them. So I'm not going to harp too much at 3. It was like I had fun. I mean, it's definitely something you could watch over and over again. But yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, you mentioned Point Break.
Yeah.
Point Break, I think one of the EPs on the movie actually did the reboot for Point Break.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
They did remake that movie. I mean, I don't know if it was good. But...
No, it was not.
Yeah. Daniel, what are you thinking? 0 to 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.5, just because, and I agree with Mike's take on it. I think the 0.5 for me comes from the fact that when you watch this movie, you really can't see this being like a 10-part franchise, and you don't really see the vision for this. But I mean, they've made 10 of them now. I mean, this one's definitely like the most realistic Fast and the Furious. I don't know if that says much, but
I mean, no, it definitely is. Yeah.
You don't think you could drag a safe through the streets of Brazil between two cars?
No, I guess not. Oh gosh. But yeah, I mean, the whole movie, it kind of plays like this hyper masculine 16-year-old wet dream, like shiny cars, it's a lot of violence, girls in skimpy outfits, etc. The movie's fine, but what makes it become more than just like a kind of MTV movie is it's the performances of Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Like they're just their scenes together are too good. It elevates the movie, and after a while you can kind of see like, all right, you know what? If we had these two at the helm, for this franchise, we can just keep pumping these out. So
Yeah.
I'll give it 3 out of 5. 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it. All right, to be fair, I'm going to give it a 3.25 out of no. No, I'm going to give it a 3. I'm giving
I work so much harder with these fractions.
Right in the middle.
That's what I do. This is our pod. We make the rules. But no, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I think Actually, fun fact, I do think this was the first time that I've seen it. I thought I saw it when I was younger, but when I was watching this, I'm like, I don't remember any of this. Like, not a single thing. And I was like, okay, maybe this was the first time. It was definitely entertaining. It definitely screamed early 2000s action movie to me, but not in a bad way. Of like, this was cool. And like, I did love the more realistic action. Like the fact that, you know, they had cars driving under trucks, and that's not spoiling anything. It's like, but like what they were doing with these stunts, I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then to see like, in the later Fast and Furious movies, I think they crash a car into a satellite or something. Or at least that's a meme I've seen online. And you're
Vin
like,
Diesel caught a car in the last one.
yeah. So
He
like,
caught it. I synced it with my eyes.
So yeah, so with that, having that more realistic story with it was great. And also, I totally didn't see one of the early twists coming because, again, I hadn't seen this movie and I haven't really watched any of the Fast and Furious movies, so really enjoyed it. But definitely some of the acting as a whole was like, but as a whole, I did definitely think it was a enjoyable, good movie. And if you're looking for a movie to revisit, or if you've never seen it, I'd say see it. If you haven't seen it in a while, go ahead and revisit it because it's a good time. But yeah, so from across the board, we have Mike with a 3, Daniel with a 3.5, and me with a 3.25. So very solid movie all in all. Cheers. I just got back from vacation, so I have like a little bit of a sinus headache. Otherwise, I'd be joining them on that. But hey, water's good too, I suppose. But now, before we get into our background of the movie, a quick word from our sponsors. I think many of you that follow our social media, it's me. I've dropped a Kickstarter for a comic, Evil as a Weapon Chainsaw Wars, and I've been steadily dropping content for it. And right now we're sitting at 40% with only 5 or 6 days into the campaign. So we still have 24 days, I believe, and it has been an absolute blast so far. Thank you everyone for who already has supported it, and it's been a blast to make, and I can't wait for everyone to see the final product. So yeah, so again, if Evil is a Weapon Chainsaw Wars, feel free to visit on Kickstarter. We'll also have a link in the video description. But now let's get some background on this movie. 2001, you could make a movie for a hay penny back then, I'm pretty sure, right?
That's pretty much what they did with this one.
What the budget was for
Yeah, we'll go through it. So, yeah, Fast and the Furious. You have to be very specific. 2001.
True.
Runtime is an hour and 46 minutes. It was released June 22nd, 2001. The budget was $38 million.
Mm-hmm.
The box office was 207, so it was a big hit.
Nice.
Rotten Tomatoes, critic score 54, audience score 74. And then the genre is action, crime, thriller. Yeah. And then the director is Rob Cohen, who went to do Triple X with, I don't know, was Triple X before or after this
I
one?
think it was after.
I think it was a little bit after.
Yeah. Triple X, he did Stealth, the Jamie Foxx movie.
Oh,
The Mummy 3, he directed Alex Cross with Tyler Perry's Alex Cross. That one hurt. The Boy Next Door with Jennifer Lopez, he has a very eclectic
very all over
resume. And then the last movie he did was Hurricane Heist. I feel like a lot of people didn't see that one.
Hurricane.
I didn't know that was a movie.
Hurricane Heist.
Yeah, they tried to rob a bank during a hurricane. Raise the stakes.
Everyone's home then.
Yeah, so the film stars Vin Diesel as Dominic Toretto, Paul Walker as Brian O'Connor, Michelle Rodriguez as Letty, Jordana Brewster as Mia, Rick Yoon as Johnny Tran, Chad Lindbergh as Jesse, Johnny Strong as Leon, Matt Schultz as Vince, and then Ja Rule.
As Edwin.
Yeah, for that brief in the very beginning is Edwin. Yeah.
The only reason he's not selling his franchise because he didn't want to do the second one.
Really?
So they replaced him with Ludacris.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is that serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I was looking it up. But and then the tagline for this movie is, "If you have what it takes, you can have it all." I don't know what that means. I feel like it just doesn't fit.
I think it means what it says, Michael. If you have what it takes, you can have it all. I mean, there's really self-explanatory there, sir.
Fair enough.
I mean, Ja Rule,
And then-
like,
He didn't have what it
I can't
takes.
trust this man's decisions. He didn't want to be a part of this franchise movie, which would have like made him.
But once again, in 2001, it didn't seem like a franchise because the second one was trash, the third one was trash. This franchise should be dead after fucking Tokyo Drift.
Okay, but like while we're talking about Ja Rule, he is like one of the worst parts of this movie, and I have no problem. He's not very good in this movie.
I would say it's Paul Walker and his acting, but
Paul Walker, the man's too good looking.
That's literally his career. He's got some pretty eyes and a nice jaw, but outside of that,
actually, I have something to say that will like intertwine with that because coming from the other side of it, because like I think he's so good looking, we don't see how good of an actor he is actually, because he's so it's so distracting.
First of all, no, that's a full ass lie, because in the second film, he said, and I quote, "We ain't hungry no more, cuz," and I said, and I'm done with this friend. And we are good.
That was Tyrese.
No.
That was Paul.
He said, no, one of them said, "We ain't hungry no more," cuz he was like, and we eating too, or some shit like that. And I was just like, Paul Walker, you are not a gang member. I don't.
Paul Walker's that guy. Okay?
That's why
everyone was like, "Yeah."
He was the worst part of like being in 21 Jump Street. It was like, cop. It was like if I had to pick a cop out of the lineup, Paul Walker. Boom. What we doing?
It really. I will say Paul Walker. He has a sort of it's like a McConaughey-esque about him.
Don't you dare! That man is a national treasure.
He's got a lot of
champs.
He's got a lot of charisma. Is all I'm saying. He's got a lot of charisma.
He's handsome. That's it.
You're about halfway there then.
That is half of Hollywood. Fine. Fair enough.
You're about halfway there. I mean, I do think. I've seen him act well before, so like I don't mind seeing him.
Sorry.
What was that?
Look this man directly in the eye and said, "You goddamn lie."
Wait, have you seen Running Scared?
No, I didn't see Brick Mansions either.
Oh wait, I haven't seen Brick Mansions either.
Anything outside of this film franchise was garbage.
I do think he was.
And this film franchise is garbage. I'm loud. That was loud. My bad.
I think his best acting was gonna be later in life when he
wasn't he in one movie with like DiCaprio? I feel like wasn't he?
I'm trying to look him up right now.
I feel like he was in something with like DiCaprio and all the pretty white boys.
I'm not sure. Yeah. But I do know for Vin Diesel, this was one of his roles, right? So like, because I know Vin Diesel, there was Pitch Black in 2000, which me as like you know a 6-year-old did not see or 7-year-old didn't see until later. Pitch Black was great. I remember watching the Chronicles of Riddick like 1 billion times growing up, and that
I really liked that one until I didn't.
Yeah. I didn't care for it.
Yeah, you're right. Varsity Blues, he's all that. I feel like
oh yeah, he's in She's All That. Okay, like if you're talking about a bad performance, all right, yeah, She's All That was pretty bad. But he was playing the douchebag, so he
was in Tammy and T-Rex. That's what it was. God damn.
What was it?
Tammy and T-Rex with Denise Richards, where they put his brain into a mechanical T-Rex.
What?
Super weird.
What? Okay.
Yeah, don't goods it.
So why are we doing the podcast on that movie?
Yeah, I know, right? That's a bonus episode. All right. But kind of bringing it back, so that is the background we have on this movie.
You see the tangents I was talking about?
Yeah.
Let's get into the breakdown. So now we're going to start getting to the spoilers of everything. So again, if you want to take a quick pause, go ahead, watch the movie. Just make sure you come back so you can finish strong with us. All right. Mike, how does this movie start? What do we got?
All right, so we get a truck loaded up with the merchandise. And that merchandise is DVD, TV combos.
Which in 2001, that was a big deal. All right, you know, that was
fucking cash money to eat.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then some guy makes a call, letting his crew know that the truck is leaving the station. And then shortly after, we get that truck getting hijacked by 3 cars. They harpoon the window, knock out the driver, and steal the truck.
Yeah, and that was a great heist. Like,
Yeah.
like, again, like what we said in the beginning of like the more realistic action sequences, all of that was a really cool heist. And I'm like, oh, that's right. This is what like realistic action looks like compared with like other movies in this franchise.
Yeah.
But,
The driving underneath the truck, that
Right.
like I remember that the first time watching it. Whenever that was like in theaters in 2001. But that's the only part I really remember. I was just like, oh my god, I've never seen something like this before.
yeah, that's amazing. So for the time and what it did, that's really cool. That with the Fast and Furious was able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So then after after we see that heist, we jump to Brian O'Connor, or his name is Brian Spillner, actually. Brian Earl Spillner.
That's his.
Sounds like
Horrible
Jerry.
name. Once again, cop. But
I mean, it's a very white name, so it was on brand.
Yeah.
So like, I think they made a joke of that throughout the movie too. They were like, "Yeah, that's a white man's name."
Yeah, that's a white name. The first thing when Vin Diesel hears it, he's like, that sounds like the name of a serial killer. And I'm like,
But yeah, so we meet Brian, and he's practicing, like he's racing his car, trying to get up to like I think 150 miles per hour, but he keeps stalling out. So he drives to the Toretto's market. I totally forgot about this shit once again because now they're in space. But they just own a fucking like a market sandwich shop and like I guess a garage or some shit like that. Once again, regular people shit.
Yeah. Oh, man. This man is eating tuna every day to impress.
In Los Angeles. Yeah, so he goes to the Toretto shop. He meets with Mia. They have an exchange, right? Like you said, he asks her, "How's the tuna today?"
Yeah.
She says, "Terrible, like it is every day." Once again, flirting.
Playing the long game, like just eating tuna every day, like
every day. You know?
someone help this man right now.
And then we see the rest of Dom's crew roll up. So that's Mia, Vince, Jesse, and Leon. They
And
roll
Letty.
up and immediately.
Jesse seemed like a watered down.
He's
Ryan
Jesse.
Gosling.
No, he's fucking homeboy from Breaking Bad. That's what he looks like. A watered down.
Aaron
Jesse
Paul.
Pinkman. Aaron Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, I
For a second, I thought you said that
I
was.
thought you were
Yeah.
saying like it was actually him.
No.
You almost just blew my mind.
I just shit my pants. But no, so we get the rest of the crew rolling up. Vince immediately doesn't like Brian. Like I think he noticed that Brian's truck, so obviously he's been coming to the.
But he also has like a crush on him.
He has a crush on Mia.
That's why.
Yeah, and so him and Brian fight. And
The music in that fight scene was just. When I said earlier like it's an MTV movie, like that's what I was talking
I was gonna ask you what that meant.
Yeah, like certain parts like that, and it's just like, watch your back, and it's like someone's coming from behind him, and he punches him. It's like, oh god, it's so cheesy.
It's on the
But
nose.
yeah, so Brian and Vince fight. Mia has Dom break it up, and he tells Brian not to come around here again. Something like that. And then shortly after, we see.
Well, he tries to fire him, right?
Oh yeah, so he said, that we get a little background on Brian. He says, "You work for Harry, right, or whatever." It's like you don't anymore.
Yeah.
And so Brian goes back to his job where he works for this guy Harry at another auto body shop, and he tells him he needs like Nas or some shit like that for his car.
Like, I need Nas. So dramatic.
Who doesn't want that? But yeah, so he says he needs it by that night. Next thing we see that Brian goes to this car meet where everybody's there. It's like you said, skin clad women, sexy cars, sexier guys.
Everyone's like in their respective hanging out, and like he sticks out like a sore thumb. They're like, "Yo, who's that man or whatever?" They're like, "Whoa."
Yeah. So this guy Hector comes over. I guess he kind of runs the car meets. Asked him about his car. Then we see Toretto's crew roll up, and they're organizing this race. So you have Ja Rule, another guy. I feel like he wasn't really focused on.
No, yeah.
And then Brian kind of buys his way into the race and said, like he offers up his car as collateral because it was like I think 2K ahead, but he didn't he didn't have money, so he said if you
pink slip
if you beat me, you can have my car. So then they go to another location to race. You see they shut down the streets.
Yeah. Here, quick pause right here, just from like looking throughout this movie. Like, I think the movie does do a great job of setting up like Dom Toretto is a big deal, right? Like they don't like it's like they kind of like you see Dom in the beginning in the delicatessen market area. He just looks back, he's like, whatever, I'm good, and he's just minding his own business. He also, I don't fully understand his relationship with Letty sometimes because she's like, hey Dom, you want to hang out? And he's like, yeah, and he's like, nah, I'm good. And I'm like, that's your girlfriend. We figure out, but
Layla, he rolls up to the car meet. Two girls come at him, and he's just like, I was just talking to these bitches. I'm gonna get right back.
Letty's immediately like, I'm gonna stomp these bitches out right here.
Yeah, she came in fired with that.
Yeah.
Not having it.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, obviously Toretto's crew is a big deal. They set up the race, so it's going to be Toretto, Edwin.
Yeah.
What a name for it.
Wait, can we go back? Because you mentioned that guy, Hector.
Yeah.
And I think that actor who plays
His
Hector,
name is Hector. He was in Veronica Mars. Like,
okay. And
every movie he's in, his name is actually Hector.
Yeah, his name is Hector.
His
Okay, I was
full,
gonna
his
say
full
that,
IMDb
yeah.
is just Hector Carlos. Hector.
It's easy, all right? Like, don't worry about other names. He's like, just call
He
me.
was like, no. If I can't be named Hector, I won't be a part of this project. but yeah.
It's a non-negotiable.
Yeah, exactly.
So they set up the race. They go to the site. They shut down the streets. So it's going to be Edwin, played by Ja Rule, Dom Toretto, Brian, and a fourth guy racing.
Who's can't really remember.
Yeah, he wasn't really important. But it was where he was playing. And this is the Pit My Ride shit. He was playing like PlayStation. Like he was racing. He was playing PlayStation in his car before the race.
I mean, in 2001, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I will say that.
He was playing a racing game in his
He
racing.
said, I know you guys are driving under cars, but we're talking PlayStation in the car.
Yeah. Video games in the car, you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I remember watching Pick My Ride.
But yeah, so the race starts. Immediately, I think you could tell that there's a certain greenness to Brian or something like that. Where he I think he couldn't even drive up to the line. He like drives over it, has to back up.
That's right.
Yeah.
So like you said earlier, he's very much
It's a great performance.
a small fish in a big pond type of way. We're just like he really doesn't belong here. But the race starts. He's in last place, but using the Nas or whatever that he got from Harry, he's able to pull into second, and then he I think he uses the Nas again and pulls into first.
Yeah.
And that's what I couldn't understand. It was just like, is that cheating? Like it seemed like
They all
I guess
have it.
everyone has.
Yeah.
They all have
Yeah.
it. It's fine.
Like they all
I
have
guess
it.
we use it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, and it comes into play. For the record, I have no idea how illegal street racing works, and I've never.
Oh, not at all. I don't even drive, so
I can't even drive stick shift.
After watching this, I can say that I'm an expert in, in street racing.
So please enlighten.
If you use NOS, if you're the last one to use NOS, you're
You
gonna
win.
win the
There you
race.
go.
I think so. Yeah, that's what
that
it
has
seems.
been the conceit in every race that we actually saw in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the NOS
but yeah,
takes
so
a lot
Brian-
out of your car. Like like you see, like if you use a NOS too early, your car's gonna get fucking totaled. So it's just how long can you stand of not using it? But yeah.
Yeah, so Brian almost wins the race, but he uses the not too early, and his car kind of breaks down. So Dom beats him. Obviously, Brian loses the race. He comes back, and he says the coolest thing I've ever heard. Dude, I almost beat you.
Dude, I almost,
Yeah.
dude, I
Dude,
almost,
I
He almost had you. That's what it was. And I was just like, cop.
No, but he's smiling the whole time. He's just like, they were like, "What are you laughing about?"
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
Dude, I
You
almost
had me. You almost had me, and then you had that great monologue. That is great. And the guy was like, that line is awesome. It's like any racer will let you. A win's a win. It was great. That was Vin Diesel.
Yeah, whether you win by an inch or a mile, or like whatever, it was like a
Winning's
win is a win.
Yeah. But I do like when he was like, "You never had me.
Yeah,
You never had your car."
Classic line. Tough guy stuff. But yeah, so Don wins the race. Obviously, Brian owes him his car now, but before they can, do the exchange, they get alerted that the cops are coming to the street race. So everybody, scatters. Dom stashes his car in like a parking garage or something like that, and he's walking on the street, and the cop recognizes him and tries to arrest him. So he runs, and I feel like he didn't take the Tom Cruise class on running away because maybe he's just too big to run like a regular person. But it was very, it was very RoboCop for some reason.
It's an awkward looking run. It is. He's like swinging his shoulders like while he's going through. It's a weird.
Yeah, but so he runs away. Brian's able to pick him up, and they evade the cops. And
And that's kind of like, I guess that's how their relationship gets off, like on the right foot.
yeah,
Finally.
and so as they get away from the cops and they're about to, I guess, driving back to Toretto's house, they get stopped by a motorcycle gang. This is Johnny Tran and his gang, and they tell him to pull over or to follow them or whatever. So they go to this, I think it was their garage or whatever, and apparently Toretto and Tran's family have a deal where Toretto doesn't, go into a certain area. And he was trespassing. He was like, we got lost or whatever. So Johnny Tran and his gang drive away. they, make mention of how nice Brian's car is. They drive away, come back, shoot it up, and because of the Nas, it explodes.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about a 2000 action.
Yeah.
So
It was a classic early 2000s explosion, like from
Yeah.
different angles.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
explosion. It was great.
Nuts! And they all just slow-mo run and just 3 different angles
Yeah.
of yeah. It was great.
Yeah, so the car explodes, so now they're on foot. So you get a little background. We find out one that Dom had done a background check on Brian to find out that he was like from Arizona, had like went to juvie or something like that when he was a teenager for boosting cars. Toretto mentions that his relationship with Johnny Trent, it was like they had a deal or something like that. He doesn't really go into it, and he had sex with Johnny Trent's sister or some shit like that. So that's why they kind of have beef, and they have a very like, I guess, tumultuous, truce, where they don't.
Letty let that happen, huh?
He wasn't gonna call them skanks. That's what.
Well, I guess you see like why Letty is the way she is now. If she got cheated on like that.
So yeah, then they go back to Toretto's house, and like Brian's about to walk away, but I think, like you said, I think this was the start of their like this relationship between Dom and Brian. So he invites him in for a beer.
There's a bromance in
Yeah.
this movie. This, definitely.
But what's funny
And
too,
then you see-
also at this point, right before he goes in, Mia sees that Brian's about to come in. She's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, she's like, oh shit. So you can tell like there's an attraction between them, yeah. Or like, well, she does like like Brian.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Brian goes into the house, and Dom immediately starts chastising the members of his crew, Leon, Vince, saying like, "Where were you guys?" Because if it wasn't because Vince sees that Brian's there, and he's like, "Why is he calls him?"
Yeah, why'd you bring back the Buster?
Yeah, and he was just like, "Well, if it wasn't for him, I'd be locked up or whatever." And he was like, Vince goes, "We don't know him," or there was a time I didn't know you, and Vince goes, "Man, I was in the 3rd grade."
Yeah.
So now we go there.
That's his like, yeah, that's definitely like, because he's like kind of an asshole the whole movie.
Yeah.
But that's definitely his best line. Like,
He's like, "I was 6. Get over it." But so like yeah, he chastises the crew, like lets them know that Brian, like he kind of trusts Brian for helping him out.
Well, he tells Brian that because like when he does the background check on Brian, he also says that like he did 2 years.
Yeah,
in prison.
and he's not going back. We know that.
Yeah, they both share that information with each other.
Yeah, and so there's a little bit, obviously, the whole movie is a tension between Brian and Vince because one, he just doesn't trust Brian, and two, he knows that Brian's attracted to Mia, and Vince has a crush on Mia. Mia comes downstairs to kind of stop a fight because like Dom goes away, so now you just got Brian by himself at this party where he doesn't know anyone.
Well, he took his beers.
Yeah. Go ahead.
He took what? What'd you say, Daniel?
He like Vince, what's his name? Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Dom. He takes his beer and gives it to Brian. Yeah.
I was about to say, I will have my own side.
There's so
Which
much.
really upsets. Like, I guess there's not that much.
I would
beer
feel
at
like,
the house.
as Brian, I would have more upset. I was like, so you ain't got others, or
It's like that one that's
is it
not
just a
open,
limited
but-
supply of beer?
They do, like, for this whole thing with Vince, they antagonize the fuck out of Vince through all, like, both Dom and Mia later. There's, like, no wonder, like, Vince also hates this dude because you continue to antagonize the motherfucker. But I was going to say, too, because, Danny, you brought up the relationship of, like, Letty and Dom. Like, the first thing that comes in when, like, all the other guys are like, "Yo, Dom, you want a couple girls?" Blah, blah, blah. Like, right in front of Letty. So it's very much like if Letty's not there to, like, beat these bitches off Dom, he's gonna be fucking other people. So it's very much like I don't get that relationship that much, but hey, whatever. Heck, 2001.
Yeah, I guess like that relationship changes dramatically as the franchise moves forward.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's a scene where like Letty leads Dom upstairs, leaving Brian, by himself with Vince and the rest of the crew, and like Mia comes and kind of stops them from fighting. So they flirt a bit. She said something about you need a shower.
Yeah, you need a shower and some sleep, so let me take you home. So I was like, did they bang then too? I don't think they did, but it seemed like
Oh, you're talking about Letty?
No,
Dom?
Mia.
Oh.
So when Letty and Dom go upstairs.
Yeah, you're like, you need a massage or something. That's what
Yeah.
said.
She said no. She said, yeah, I need a massage.
Oh, I need a massage. Yeah, that's what she said.
But yeah, so you obviously have this flirting going back and forth between Brian and Mia, and it was like weird. The scene ended where she was just like, "You need a shower and some sleep,"
So let me
and it was
take you
just
home.
like,
So she's like, so
"Yeah,
let me take you home.
oh,
Scene ends, and I'm like,
oh, I didn't hear
yeah,
that part.
yeah.
My
So I'm just
nasty ass
like,
But yeah,
no.
so after that, the next scene we get is Brian getting pulled over by the cops. He gets arrested,
Hmm.
and this is where you find out that he's an undercover cop working
Yeah.
on the case. It's like some joint venture between like the LAPD and the FBI
Hmm.
because the trucks are getting hijacked, and like the truckers are threatening to arm themselves to to protect themselves from the hijackers or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's
Question.
Brian's
This
job. Sorry, yeah.
for right here when you see Brian's a cop. So I guess you two remembered he was a cop or knew he was a cop going into this.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
totally,
Yeah.
I totally, I forgot because I haven't seen. No, I saw
I was
number
about to say,
two
I
years
wouldn't
ago.
tell you to watch The Sixth Sense because it's going to blow your mind.
Yeah, yeah, they're only halfway there after the Sixth Sense. What? But no, like I remember watching this. I was like,
No,
oh
so yeah,
shit.
what was your reaction?
This shit is pants.
Yeah, they're like, yeah,
He
literally.
said, "What?"
Yeah, I was like, oh, what the hell? I was like, he's a fucking. Literally, that was my exact reaction when I saw him go to the cops. I was like, he's a fucking rat. And like,
He felt as betrayed as Dom.
I literally
He's like,
did.
oh wow, so like this is kind of like The Departed. Is Marty Scorsese, is he attached to this? Oh my god.
But yeah, so yeah, we find out that Brian's basically 21 Jump Street working the case to find the hijackers of the truck. Excuse me. And he's I think he has like I think it's one of those things where he's trying to make detective, and this is his best way of doing it.
Yeah.
So then we jump back to Brian brings because he owes. He mentioned it again, right? Where before the party, he mentioned that Brian owes him a car because the one that he was supposed to give to him after the race got blown up, so he still owes Dom a car. He brings him a busted car, but it has a nice engine or something like that. Once again, I don't know cars.
Yeah.
That Supra looked dope though.
Yeah. And so Dom says, once again, we're seeing this bromance grow and like his trust in Brian, where he says, when you're not working at Harry's, you're working here, and then he wants to get Brian to race to make some money. And then we see the classic. I think this is one of the things that happens throughout the franchise. Is like there's a cookout at the Toretto's.
Yep. Family.
The crew rolls up. Yeah. Actually, it's interesting. He doesn't say family at all. There's 2 mentions of family in this film, but it's not by Dominic Toretto.
Yep. Yeah.
He's a lot more like brooding in this one, where he's like standoffish in a way. Like, remember he does that speech when he's just like
He's like, "Fuck these people." No, I'm paraphrasing. He's like, "I live my life a quarter mile at a time."
Yeah, first of all, I hate that line.
Because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
That's like, just take it one day at a time. Like everybody else?
It's a terrible line. I know it's like the most popular in that movie, but man, it's just so bad.
Well, it's because he races, and the race is only a quarter mile. So there you have
It's a metaphor. I see what you did. Got it.
No, I knew exactly why. It's still terrible.
It's layers to it. I didn't get it. Just like you didn't know he was a cop, I didn't get the metaphor for the quarter mile at a time. That's what it was. But yeah, so we get a classic cookout at the Toretto's. Brian's there, Mia's there. The crew rolls up. Vince sees that Brian's there and immediately drives off. But he comes back, and I think you definitely see this thing where like Dom is he's created, even though he doesn't mention family, he's definitely created this like family of misfits, right? Like, his crew is like
he's created a team here.
they're a crew. They're not a gang or something like that. But it's like he definitely brings in like kind of the misfits.
That's true.
So it's like there's a scene like Vince leaves, but he comes back, and it was like he didn't have to apologize. He didn't say anything. It's just known that like he's a they're family. And
I mean, yeah, you go back to the 3rd grade, like that's deep.
And then after so they're all sitting there after the cookout. Brian is helping Mia clean up while the rest of the group is watching the movie, and you see him flirting, asking her out, and she says she doesn't date her brother's friends. but he's like persistent, and then Vince comes in.
Mm-hmm.
This is where once again they keep gaslighting this man, and you wonder why he's trying to throw hands. Where like he comes in.
This was so savage.
Yeah, and Mia says, "Where's that restaurant you wanted to take me?" And he was so excited. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's this spot over there." And then Mia goes, "Yeah, Brian, you could take me." And I was just like,
Damn.
"Oh, what we doing?"
Yeah.
That broke my heart. I was just like, and they're like,
I'm calling the police right now.
He's trolling like an asshole, though. That is, Vince is an asshole. You know, like he comes in, he's like making fun of all of them, whatever. But yeah, no, he did. You're like, yeah, no wonder he wants to beat the fuck out of Brian after that.
No, he didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
That is tough to watch that happen right in front of you.
Yeah. He's like, get your own fucking popcorn. Yeah.
they're like, I didn't ask him no pop. What are we talking about? But yeah, so obviously now, what's his name? Brian and Mia have a date set. We go back to Brian working at Harry's, and Hector comes in and orders car parts that are very similar to the cars that have been hijacking because you keep forgetting that Brian is working as a cop to find the hijackers.
Yeah. Well, Brian's forgotten.
So Hector comes in. Yeah, exactly. Hector comes in. He's buying his car parts that are similar to the cars that have been hijacking the trucks. So that night, Brian goes and raids Hector's garage to see if he's the one that's been hijacking the trucks. And he realizes that the Hector isn't. But as he's escaping the warehouse, he gets caught by Vince and Dom, and it was this kind of intense scene where like Dom is like, don't lie to me, are you a cop? Like, what are you doing here? Type of thing. And Brian, thinking on his feet, just says, obviously,
Hector,
obviously Hector is like scooping up these cars, and like he's just basically scoping out the competition for when they race at the aptly named Race Wars.
God, I was waiting for us to talk about this.
We don't need to get into it right now. It's like the big event of this film was called Race Wars, which nobody took a once over for some reason. But yeah, so he's basically scoping out the competition to see, because he wants to make sure that they are able to beat whoever they go up against. Mm-hmm. So Dom takes Brian, like he believes him. And he takes him to go check
Vince is actually right. He's like, this guy's a cop.
This guy's a cop. He even moans like a cop. And I'm like...
But Dom believes Brian. They go to Johnny Tran's garage to see, if they're, what they're scoping out the competition. And they notice that the engines are missing in their cars. Brian notices that there are DVD players in the warehouse. So he's, suspicious that Johnny Tran and his gang are the ones that are hijacking the trucks. But before they can make a move, they find out like Johnny Tran and his gang come back, and I think they have this interrogation with some guy basically that had stolen the engines from their cars.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, it was a quick scene, but basically
their fence. Like that's the guy who gives them the stolen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he's like the middleman of like he gets the suppliers to the engine and shit. He then sells it to them. So yeah, he's the fence. Yeah.
But so it's just an intense scene where like the guy had basically stolen their engines, was hiding them. They find out where they are. Brian it's just a scene where you can see that now because Brian meets up with his the cops after this, and now he has suspects for the possible hijack. He has Hector, he has Johnny Tran and his gang, but the cops still believe that it's Dom Toretto because of the fact that his pull in this world.
Yeah. Well, it's because like they go in, you see Tran, like there's the cars, there's the DVD players, there's that stuff in the warehouse. So it does, the evidence kind of looks like it a little bit too. Mm-hmm.
But they mention that because Brian keeps saying that Dom definitely wouldn't do this because he doesn't want to go back to prison. Mm-hmm. Vince has a capability, but he's not smart enough to pull off something like this. So he doesn't think that it's Toretto's crew. It has to be either Johnny Tran or Hector. But they don't have any evidence. They do have the DVD players in the warehouse. Yeah. But that's
they realize it's not Hector at this point because the tread of the wheels is wrong. Because he looks at the wheels, he's like, wrong wheels. Because I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
He meets with the cop. He just tells them to give him more time, and then he's at he's at the shop with Dom. They're working on the car, and Dom warns him about dating his sister because he knows that they're going on a date. And he says, obviously if you hurt her, I'll kill you.
Yeah, you break her
those
heart,
big
I break
brother.
your neck. Normal
Yeah.
older brother shit. I've said that
Yeah,
to all my
and
young
then
boyfriends. It's what you got to do.
and then Dom shows Brian the car that he was working on with his dad. And
The Charger, the Dodge.
you found out some backstory about Dom. So his dad was like a racer and like the I guess the pro circuit or something like that.
Yeah.
And he died in like a car crash because some guy clipped his car. And that's why Brian went to prison, because he saw the guy after his father passed,
Or Dom.
picked up a wrench.
Yeah.
Dom, sorry.
Yeah.
Dom saw the guy that he blamed for killing his father, beat him with a wrench or whatever. So he did 2 years in prison. So we get that backstory of why Dom went to prison and why he doesn't want to go back.
Yeah, and now Dom
And
can't be
then-
a professional racer either because of that. So since Dom assaulted the guy,
Oh yeah, he got kicked out. Yeah, he got kicked out.
and he had the time. Yeah.
So now he can't even go legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a
And
life
so-
of crime. The system's fucked
Yeah,
up.
and then
System's fucked.
and then we jump to Brian and Mia's date, where he kind of gets backstory on the people in the group. So we already knew that he knew Vince from 3rd grade, literally lived down the street. And I think Jesse was like just another misfit that that just started coming around. The
And
same thing with Leon. Leon didn't get any backstory at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And Brian never feels more like a cop than this moment right now when he's grilling Mia on a date about the. He's like, yeah, I don't give a
Like,
fuck.
tell me all about your brother and his plan.
Grilling the fuck out of her right now. And I'm like, dude, you're a cop. Like, come on, like that's way too. Yeah, stop being such a rat.
but he's so good looking.
Yeah.
Once
Get
again,
distracted.
you forget. Those
And
eyes.
he does have that good line to Mia here too, where he's like, I was, because she's like, oh, Dom has that gravity to him. He pulls people in, and he's like, well, that's just a bonus. I was drawn into you, and she's like, ooh, and you could literally feel that.
Put your nipples away, guy. We get it. You like Paul Walker. Relax.
He said, "Ooh."
Look, if Paul Walker
So
says
while
that
they're
to
on
me,
the date,
Paul Walker says that to me, my underwear's falling on the floor. I'm just throwing that out there. All right.
awesome. So while they're on their date, we see another truck gets hijacked, and then the cops call him and say they're going to raid Johnny Tran's garage. Like they're going to bring Johnny Tran in because they think that he did.
Yeah.
And so they raid him, but find out obviously that
Wait,
DVD.
Just because this is important. Sorry, because they call him while he's banging Mia.
He's with me. Yeah.
They call him right then. Mia was like, "Oh, who was it?" He's like, "Wrong number." Super sketchy, but then
But he said yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, wrong number.
Wrong number, yeah. But then they just go at it. So we're like, "All right, it's fine."
No, he knew. He was like, "Oh, I need to like kiss her again to make her forget."
Just staring in my eyes. Just look at him. Look at my eyes.
But yeah, so they raid. They arrest Johnny Tran and his gang, but they find out that whatever DVD players that were in the garage were purchased. The cards don't match, so they have to let Johnny Tran out. Go ahead.
Yeah, but what's going on while they're raiding Tran and like the thing? What are Dom and Letty doing? Because this was just gratuitous and needed to be in the movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Butt
just-
grab.
Yeah, it's such. Daniel made me think of what you said earlier with like this being like an MTV movie with that. It's like because while the cops are storming the Tran house and arresting everybody, what needs to be happening? Dom and Letty need to be banging, because obviously like has to happen at the same time.
I appreciate how this movie is very sex positive.
Yes.
In that
Yeah.
way, and maybe it's ahead of its time, but.
Yeah.
Everyone fucks in this
Yeah.
movie.
And they're all
Isn't
enjoying
that a
it.
world we all want to live in?
That's the tagline. Everyone fucks. But yeah. So we have the date, the trucking, the hijacking, the raid, Dom and Letty fucking, and then we get they go back to the feds and say that obviously the Tran gang isn't who they're looking for.
Yeah.
And so like now Brian is just like, well, we need to figure out, like, you're running out of time on, I think they have 36 hours or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Some
there's,
clocks.
there's always a deadline.
Yeah.
There's got to be a deadline in these movies at some point.
And so he was like, so he goes to Dom. I think him and like, oh, so his car is finally fixed. Whatever the car that he brought them, it's finally fixed. So they go for a drive.
The Supra.
And Brian goes to Dom. He says, "I want obviously whatever you're doing, like I want in because it was like obviously owning that market or like and whatever auto body shop you have isn't paying for all these like the car parts and all that shit like that. So it was like whatever your side hustle is, I want a part of it."
Yeah.
And Dom doesn't admit anything, but he says he's going to use, and I hate to say this, but he's going to use race wars.
Race wars.
I told somebody to shout it.
Race wars.
But he's going to use race wars as a tryout for Brian to bring him in on whatever they're doing.
That's right.
So
he just gives him a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's the address to race.
Yeah.
You're invited to the race war. Here you go.
Pick a side. So yeah, they go to they go to the event. I'm just gonna say the event. I can't keep saying race wars.
No, they go to race wars.
They go to race wars.
And
it's in the desert.
It's in the desert for whatever reason. Yeah, and it was just like so. Immediately when they get there, you see Letty racing a guy because he was like, talking down to her. It was like, you should be on the sideline. You shouldn't be, driving. So she just lets him know that you ain't shit. They bet like 2K.
Yep.
She beats him once again using Nas. I don't understand
The Nas.
The Nas
makes you go faster.
Yeah.
But while they're there, Jesse races Johnny Tran.
Poor Jesse.
Excuse me, for his dad's car, and he was just like, I think earlier there were scenes like Brian and Jesse talking where you see that Jesse's very smart, but he has ADHD or ADD or whatever. So he's like, he wasn't like good in school or anything like that, but he was like very, very intelligent.
Well, yeah, this was before it was like cool to have ADD, and now we all have it. So, but
Yeah.
Jesse has this.
Yeah, so you do see like that character growth that you saw like with Jesse of being like, oh, so school wasn't for him, but he's like basically a genius when it comes to engines and cars. So it's like it's very much that picture of like, hey, school might not necessarily be for everyone. It's a pretty nice point of like, hey, he can be very successful in other ways too. Because Brian's like, oh, dude, you should be at MIT, but school's just not for him. But Jesse is an oddball to say, and that's like
But so Jesse has a race against Johnny Tran for his dad's car. We find out his dad is in prison, and he's hoping to get another car so I guess they can race together. Whatever it was, but it was like
it's a big risk. Everything that they say, it's like it seems like it's a huge risk.
They tell him not to. Like Brian tries to get him not to race because he was like he notices obviously Johnny Tran has money, and they saw whatever when they were in his warehouse.
Yeah.
It was like, this man has all the money in the world to soup up this car, so I wouldn't race him if I were you. Jesse, raises him, loses the race, and just drives off because he was like freaking out at the fact that he's lost his dad's car. Yeah. And Johnny Tran goes to Dom and says, "Where's your boy going?" And he mentions the fact that, and this is once again one of two people that mentioned family that is not Don Toretto. Yeah. But it was like, the cops raided my house in front of my front of my family and like brought dishonor. And he was like, I think you were the one that ratted me out. And Dom just goes off and like starts fighting Johnny, and he was like, I know I would never rat anybody out.
He takes that very personal.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a rat.
And so
am I the only one who thought that like we needed more Johnny Tran in this movie?
We did
a little bit. No, we really.
I feel like he should have been a bigger antagonist.
Yeah, he should have been.
Because like we tried to make him an antagonist. Wait, sorry, you go. Daniel, what you were saying?
Say it again.
I was saying he was a good villain.
Yeah.
I just think we needed more from him.
Absolutely, and I agree because like he was kind of billed as like one of the main antagonists, but like he didn't do much, right? And you're just like
he literally had like 4 or 5 scenes.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the name is badass too. Johnny Tran. That's the movie villain. Oh, damn.
That makes sense. Yeah. That sounds like a movie villain name for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So after the fight or whatever between Dom,
Dom wrecks him.
Dom beats up Johnny Tran. Letty gets a shot on his cousin.
That guy got. He did not see that coming at all.
Yeah.
Letty just years and years of anger
Yeah.
just built up into that one punch.
But yeah, so after the fight, Dom, Letty, and Dom, Letty, Vince, and Leon drive off, and this is where you know that they're the hijackers. And Brian notices that they left, so he, in order to try to stop them and save them, because once again we know that he had the time clock was the fact that it was like if the cops don't catch the hijackers, the truckers are going to arm themselves. So now it's gonna be dangerous because they've stolen trucks, but they haven't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
But if the truckers are armed, like you don't know what's going to happen. So in order to try to save the crew, Brian tells Mia that he's a cop. Obviously she's shocked, just like Ed was, but and no one else. But
Oh no, did it freeze?
I don't know. Oh no, we're good.
You needed him to tell Mia first.
Yeah. So yeah, he asked Mia where they are. They can't find them, but he tracks their cell phones to like somewhere in the middle of the desert. And they're hijacking a truck, but Jesus Christ, it happens. It all happens so fast. It's a very intense like action scene, which was great. So it was like they do the same thing they've always been doing, and they break the window, and then they're supposed to like use a grappling hook to rappel into the truck, tranquilize the driver, drive off. Yeah. But this time the driver has a shotgun, and so I think he gets Vince on the arm. Vince gets stuck on it because of the wire for the grappling hook. They can't get him
unhooked.
They can't get him unhooked, and they can't like obviously stop. So like Letty does the driving under the truck stunt, which was dope. But her car flips, and like what's his name?
The other guy.
Leon has to go back to get Letty. Dom can't really help
because Dom's car keeps getting shot.
Yeah, his car keeps getting shot. But luckily, because Brian tracked their cell phones, he knows where they are. He comes in after Letty's car flips, and I think this was a cool. It's interesting because of the fact that like the action was great. So it's just like he gets Mia to drive while he jumps to the truck in order to unhook Vince, throws Vince on the car, and like they escape narrowly before the driver can reload and shoot Brian.
Yeah.
But they have to now that they've saved now that they saved Vince, they know he needs to get to a hospital or he's gonna bleed out. And so you have Dom, Mia, and Brian around Vince.
This is the tipping point.
And then Brian has to make a call, and he says, "This is Officer Brian O'Connor. I am at X spot. We need a helivac for a person." And then you see like fucking Vin Diesel is just devastated because this is a person that he trusted. Obviously, he hasn't known him long, but he trusted. He's just like I thought he was going. I've seen this movie before, but as I was watching yesterday, I was like, "Is he gonna knock him the fuck out?"
Because he's gonna kill him. It really looked like he was gonna kill him. He
looked like he was gonna kill him, but it was like they get he holds off as soon as they get Vince into the helicopter. What's his name? Dom, Leon, Letty, and Mia just drive off. So they because they need to. They've been found out. Whatever. So like,
I mean that whole sequence is like, I think that is the best part of the movie by far. And then especially that part when he's like, this is Brian O'Connor, like with the police, and then you see that light flip, like that switch flip in his head, and it's like, oh shit. And then you can see like this like internal struggle in his head, like, should I beat the shit out of this dude? Or like, he is gonna save one of my best friends, so like maybe I should. Like that is the best acted scene. In the
because it was all nonverbal. It was dope. It was very much like you just saw it all in his face. Like you said, he's running the scenarios through his head. He's like overly emotional. He's been betrayed. Like what do I do next? Type of shit. Obviously, like Vince needs this, so I can't be totally mad. But,
right? Yeah.
Sorry. It's a great scene.
And then just he's like, "I am Groot." And
said it all.
Vince. I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
But so the Toretto family drives off, leaving Brian at the helicopter with Vince, and then we get a standoff at the Toretto house. So obviously Dom is trying to escape I think Leon and Letty have already left or whatever. It's just me in the house and Dom there, and you have this standoff between Brian and Dom, where you're saying he was like, I haven't called the cops, but I will. Like you've been hijacking these trucks. And so it's an intense standoff, but he was like, Dom is like not even worried about himself. He was like, I need to go find Jesse because of the fact that it was like, not only the cops are going to be looking for him, but also Johnny Tran because of the race that he lost. And on cue, Jesse shows up and he's been freaking out the whole time. He was like, we need to figure this out. He's very apologetic to the fact that he lost. And right on cue as
Then you get that classic shot where it's like things are slowed down and it's like Vin Diesel does that look where he's like he hears something coming down the street, things are slowing down. That was just like such a popular movie device to use.
It's the classic drive-by sequence. That's if a drive-by is happening in a movie, it's going to look just like that.
Right, yeah, because for some reason only one person can hear the car. We need to focus on
we get Johnny Tran and his cousin on motorcycles. They do a drive-by. They kill Jesse and drive off. So Brian and Dom give chase. They knock his cousin off his bike. And then I think Brian shoots Johnny Tran.
Yep.
And then
him in the ribs. I think.
And then after that, Dom sees that Johnny Tran is dead, and I guess he tries to drive off. Brian catches him, and they have. I think this is another talking about the live your life quarter mile at a time. This is another scene that's kind of classic where they kind of do a drag race. Because Dom mentions that, so they they're stopped at like a red light, and Dom says when he was a teenager he used to drag race at this spot. And it was like it's literally a quarter mile or whatever from this point. And so they have this. I think it's one of those things where it's like basically, if I win, you let me go. If I lose, I won't lose because like Brian said earlier, Dom isn't going back to prison. So they have this drag race. Nas is used once again. I think then you see it intensifies because there's a train coming, and both of them refuse. It was like Rebel Without a Cause. I don't know if you've seen that one. It was like the chicken race or whatever. It was just like they both refuse to stop before the train comes, but they both make it. They don't get hit by the train, but obviously they're staring at each other in the eyes because of Paul Walker's beautiful eyes.
Oh my God, we did it!
We tied.
That's like we did it.
Yeah, so they escape avoid getting hit by the train, but Dom is paying attention to Brian, and he doesn't see a truck pull out, so he crashes. Car flips or whatever, and I was listening to something earlier. It was like this is the first scene in this franchise where you realize that Dom is a fucking RoboCop or a super soldier. He just can't die.
He's totally fine.
His car crashes, but I think his shoulder was like maybe broken or maybe dislocated or something like that.
Yeah, he was like holding his arm.
Yeah, but he gets out of the car and like you hear the police sirens, and I think Dom is sitting there was like, this is my fate. It was like he's accepting his fate. But before the cops get there, Brian gives him the keys to his car, and he says, "I owe you a 10-second car or whatever."
Yeah.
And Dom goes, "You know what you're doing." Obviously, he's letting him go, and he knows. And I think they have this mutual respect. Dom, drives off, and Brian, I guess, starts walking towards the cops or something like that. I mean, how are they gonna know you let him drive off or whatever?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of the movie where Dom drives off. So the whole Toretto family outside of, I mean, I guess you don't know what happens to Vince, but
they leave on good terms. Like, there's that olive branch, and then like after that they're good. Like,
So Dom drives off, and Brian goes to face the cops.
Yeah.
And end of the movie.
Yeah. Great. As Mike said, that is the end of the movie. What we always like to do at the end is just revisit our original reviews to see if anything changed. So, Mike, your original was a 3 out of 5. Did anything change after going through the movie?
No, 3 out of 5. Like I said, it was like, I mean, that's not bad. Like that's not an insult to the movie. Like it was a fun watch. The action scenes were great. I think since there was ground in realism, I think a lot of the stunts were like practical, which really helped and everything like that. Like it was a good time. So 3 out of 5.
Cool. Daniel, how about you, sir?
No, yeah, 3.5. I'm gonna stand pat with 3.5. The movie's just it doesn't have to be a great like film. This is not like cinema in any way. But we can at least appreciate like a good popcorn like blockbuster summer movie, and that's what this was. And I mean, it's fun. Like just rewatching it, I had a blast. I kind of came back to my like ninth grade self a little bit when I saw them using like actual maps. Like in their
Oh
cars.
shit! That's what he literally had a map, and he was just like, "All right, I know exactly where to go."
Right, yeah, when he's like when they're trying to link up with Dom because they're doing the heist,
Yeah.
and he's like, I'm like, that's such a high pressure situation. Now you wanted me to read this map? Good God.
But you know, like I was saying earlier, I was like watching this one. I see why they saw potential in this being a franchise, right? Like you can take it anywhere. Yeah, it was just it was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And when it is a heist, that is
Yeah.
when this movie is at its best. But again, like it's Paul Walker and Vin Diesel really just making this movie come to life and actually being like what it is today. Like those two work so well off each other.
Yeah. And I'm going to stick with my 3.25. You know, I think it was very solid. Number 3. But no, I mean, yeah, very solid movie. It definitely entertaining. I will say, unfortunately, it did make me want to watch like all the other Fast and Furiouses. So I have long slog. I got a long slog ahead of me, but I'm probably going to watch the remaining 10 in the near-ish future. Oh Lord. Because I think there's 11 if we include Hobbs and Shaw.
All right, so it's The Fast and the Furious. It is Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh yeah, with Tyrese. Yeah. Tyrese.
And it's Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, then Fast and Furious,
2009.
Fast 5,
Fast 6.
Fast 6.
Oh, it actually was Fast 6.
I don't know. It was, these names don't make sense.
Yeah.
Because then it was Furious 6, and it was like it's Furious 7. It was like, so are they not going fast? I don't know. The Fate of the Furious, because it was like Fate sounded like 8, and then it was like F9. It was like, so what are we doing here? I don't
Yeah. And then Hobbs and Shaw.
cohesion with these fucking titles.
No, I think whatever they're doing is working great.
No,
They're just throwing like darts at a board. Like, all right, that's what it is this time. Let's go. No, we're not. We're not rethinking this at all.
I will say, and I didn't get a chance to say it earlier. Something that did make me think about too was when we said there's only like 2 talks of like family, and the other time that people were talking about family was when like the LAPD. Boss of Brian. He was the one that talked about family. He's like, you need to think about what family you're with or whatever, versus like the cops.
Yeah, it was
team.
I had it here somewhere.
Yeah.
Also, like Brian's coworkers, like this man is just too good looking to be like a cop. Man. He just didn't fit out there. Like I just saw his other coworkers. I'm just like, how is this guy not giving shit like all the time?
Yeah. Oh, but cool. But thank you everyone so much for listening. We greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to reach out to the 2 Meddling Kids, you can find us at 2 Meddling Kids at Twitter and Instagram, or if you'd like to email us at 2meddlingkids at gmail.com or 2meddlingkids@gmail.com. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us. If you would like, can people reach out to you? Do you have any socials you want to plug?
No, don't. No.
Hard pass? No, thank you.
I'm good on that.
No, Mike, how can they reach out to you?
On Instagram at Days from Legendary.
Beautiful. And if you'd like to reach out to me, I am at EdHunt77 on Twitter and Instagram. And I also have a new Instagram, hunt.comics. That is for all my writing. Again, I'm going to plug myself. Kickstarter, Evil is a Weapon Chainsaw Wars. We're at 40% of funding and still have like 23 days. So don't get me wrong, I still have many friends, Michael, that need a support. But other than that, you know...
I don't like being bullied, sir.
I'm not bullying you. But again, thank you so much for listening, everyone. And we will be back next week with a brand new movie review. See you next time.
Bye.
See ya.